Pooh! Find us where you find it. Disney's out with Pooh. Grow and Learn Library. It had been a busty night in a 100-acre wood. The wind had raced across the side, pushing clouds ahead of it, making branches shiver. By morning, the wind had gone, and a breeze was blowing. The breeze lifted leaves in the trees and sent them drifting toward the ground, but one leaf never made that far. Instead, it landed on a nose. It was Switchy Sore Nose, with whiskers on the sides and 2 large teeth below it. The nose belonged to Rabbit. Achoo! Rabbit said. The leaf floated to the ground, scared his nose. Rabbit glazed sadly in his yard. It was covered with leaves. The rabbit just meant to just see work. Rabbit went to the closet and put the warmest scarf he could find. Bracing himself, he went outside to chilly breeze. He took a rake in his shed and then started raking leaves where he had a lot of leaves. But it would take a long time from all the naked little piles. Another part of the forest where Winnie Pooh was smiling. There was no special reason to smile. It was just that his mouth would felt better than turned up and then it was turned down. Humming a happy hum, Pooh looked at his window into the yard. It was covered with leaves. Pooh, that meant just one thing, fun. Pooh hurried outside, throwing his arms open wide. He grinned in the sky as he did. He noticed a leaf floating in the breeze. Pooh wondered what it was like to be a leaf. He decided to throw it, hoping to find out. The leaf drifted through the trees, spun past the pound of plume. Pooh had run a little to keep up. He stayed right behind it. The leaf blew over the fence and into a pile of leaves, so Pooh jumped into the pile too. He was lying there, thinking how pleasant was the leaf. Then he noticed Rabbit standing nearby. "Hello, Rabbit," said Pooh. "I was just having some fun. Would you like to join me?" Rabbit stared at him. "Fun? There's work to be done. Don't you know what season it is? Fall." So Pooh got up and fell down leaves again. "Not at all. I'm thinking about the season after summer. Fall is the time of year when plants and animals get ready for winter." "For instance," Rabbit said, "this maple tree is getting ready for winter by dropping its leaves. Then I have to rake them up. That's fun, isn't it?" said Pooh. "It more simply is not," answered Rabbit. "Work. That's what fall is all about. Stick with me, Pooh. I'll show you." Rabbit led Pooh. His clothes fit on him a scratchy down scarf. Fall is cold, so you have to bundle up. But Pooh had his eyes on a different scarf. "If you don't mind, I'll have one better. It's soft and has plenty of pictures on it." "Does it? I never noticed that." They went out to the pumpkin patch where the ground was covered with fat, round pumpkins. Rabbit said, "Fall is the harvest time. That's when you pick up the vegetables that have been growing all summer. These pumpkins would have to help." Pooh nodded eagerly. The two friends went to work. Pooh picked up the first pumpkin, rolled it on its side with a patch, and he liked it to roll and rolled it some more. Pooh rolled pumpkin to the top of the little hill, then sat down to admire it. When you looked at the moment, Rabbit was standing there frowning. "Pooh, what are you doing?" asked Rabbit. Pooh said, "I was just thinking about the pumpkin. It reminds me of something. It was nice round shape, and it makes me happy to look at it." Suddenly it came to him. "I know what it reminds me of," said Pooh. "It's my tummy." Rabbit looked at the pumpkin, and it was round and changed to grin. "Yes, it does. Looks exactly like your tummy." Pooh patted his tummy, then patted the pumpkin. Pumpkin started to roll and roll and roll. "My pumpkin," cried Rabbit. He took off chasing it. The pumpkin rolled down the hill, picking up the speed as it went. Pooh watched, amazed at what to go through. A fat pumpkin go faster than a skinny rabbit. The pumpkin began to pounce the pumpkin patch onto Rabbit's front yard. It hit the front door with a loud splat and stopped. When Pooh came walking up the moment later, Rabbit said, "I think we need to pick up some pumpkins for today, Pooh. Would you mind if we tried something else?" Just then, a squirrel scampered across the yard. Pooh asked, "What do squirrels do in the fall?" Rabbit said, "They get ready for winter by saving food to eat when it's cold outside." As Pooh and Rabbit watched, one of the squirrels scooped up some acorns, stuffed them into their cheeks, and hurled them up the tree nest. "We need to store some food for winter, too," said Rabbit. "You're ready to go back to work? Let's pick some apples." They took Pooh to his orchard and then began picking the ripe red fruit. As Pooh puckled the apples and trees, he stuffed them into his cheeks, and they all seemed to squirrel up too. A short time later, he went to Rabbit and asked for a question, and he sounded like something like, "Pooh my boo 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 boo." Rabbit looked at Pooh for a moment, then began to laugh. He laughed and laughed, and then he hugged some more. Pooh tried to laugh, but it was too hard to do. Apples in his cheeks. Pooh took the apples out of his mouth, then asked this question again, which turned to be out to be, "Pardon me, Rabbit. What, do you have a little smackerel or something, honey, I mean?" Rabbit did indeed. He brought out a honey pot of Pooh and a shiny red apple for himself. The two friends sat by the edge of the forest, eating their snack and enjoying the bright fall day. When Pooh finished, he said, "I'm sorry, Rabbit, but I think I'd better go home now. Most of it would like to keep working, but my cheeks are tired and need a nap." He started down the path and stopped and called back, "Thank you for teaching me about fall, Rabbit. I had fun." After Pooh had left, Rabbit picked up his rake and headed to the maple tree for some work. On the way, he saw a leaf floating in the breeze. Rabbit wondered what it was like to be a leaf. He knew he was friend Pooh. Would you be here? Rabbit dropped his rake and began chasing the leaf through the forest. "My goodness," threw Rabbit. "Fall is fun."